Good morning, everybody. I'll start the program straight away. I don't need an introduction. I've been conducting programs for so long. And I think all our clients and well-wishers know me. So without wasting more time, we are already late. We are sorry for that. And here we are going to start a program that in technical analysis, which I can describe as the icing on the cake, because it's a program which can be used exclusively. It's the crown in the the jewel in the crown of the Japanese technical analytical systems. We'll come to a small introduction with the next slide. Right. Before I come to that, the first slide is missing. Then. Yeah. Ishimoto was Ishimoku Sanjin was the pen name of a Japanese journalist who took 30 years to develop this system. For 30 years, he had been, remember, they were the war years, 39 to 45. And incidentally, I should remember that yesterday was the 75th anniversary of the end of the World War, with the bombing of two Japanese cities, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and killing estimated 145,000 people in 1 second. And so we should commemorate that before going to Ishimoku. And in 1960, from 1930 to 1960, Ishimoku Sanjin, which means it's a nickname or the pen name, which means view from the top of a mountain. And because it gives an overview of the entire market. You don't need anything else if you have Ishimoku. Learn that well, and you can trade very successfully to the exclusion of all other traders in the market, right? It consists of 5 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's, I may, if there are any Japanese participants at this seminar, they can correct me for my pronunciation, because Japanese pronunciation is rather different from English. So there are 5 lines: Tenkan-Sen, Kijun-Sen, Senkou span A, Senkou span B, and the Chikou span, right? And now this, out of these, the most important line is the Tenkan-Sen, or the conversion line, which we obtain from the candlestick charts directly. And then we, based on that, we also extract the baseline, or the Kijun-Sen line, which is used for calculating Senkou span A and Senkou span B, which are the 2 borders of the most important member of the chart, the Kumo, or the cloud. Kumo means cloud in Japanese. And Chikou span is support line, is a lagging span, right? Leading span is what tells you in front, and lagging span is what tells you late, just to act as a support and a warning sort of. Right. Tenkan line is also known as the conversion line. It's drawn usually as a red line. It's drawn parallel to the midpoints, or rather the line joining the midpoints between highs and lows, not opening and closing in the candlesticks. You know, the body of the candle is opening and closing. If it's a green candle, opening is the bottom of the candle body, and top of the candle body is the closing price. Whereas the two shadows, upper shadow and a lower shadow, like which looks like a wick of the candles on the candle, represents the high and the low reached during the period, whatever the period according to which we have drawn the candles. We can use 10-minute chart, 1 hour charts, or 1 day chart, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, so on. That means one candle can represent any selected, pre-selected time interval. Now, a line joining, now usually we take the line joining the opening and the close, but in Ichimoku, we'll use the line joining the midpoints between the high and the low of candle, which is ends of the shadow. The line joining the span between the top end and the bottom end of the shadow, right? That's the top end of the top shadow and bottom end of the bottom shadow. It's if it's a candle like a hanging man or a doji, then you have one shadow, but then we'll have a sort of a to take the end of the shadow is also the end of the candle body. Right. Having said that, Tenkan-Sen is the conversion line, which is identical with that red line which joins the midpoints between highs and lows of the candlesticks. Kijun-Sen is the baseline drawn as a blue support or resistance line confirming the trend indicated by the Tenkan-Sen line. It is calculated as highest high, lowest low divided by 2 during the past 26 periods. Okay. In Sri Lanka, you can use 22 periods because 26 is because Saturday is a trading day in Japan. And in Sri Lanka, we trade only for 5 days, whereas in a week, the Japanese trade 6 days a week. Not only Japanese, I think, even the Chinese trade 6 days a week. Saturday is a holiday only in our countries. Senkou span A, also known as the leading span, this line is the first edge of the Kumo Cloud. The Kumo Cloud is like saying cloud and Valagula. Yeah. So Kumo is the Japanese translation of the word cloud. The cloud is called a Kumo. So it is sometimes on top of the cloud, sometimes it's the lower border of the cloud. If it is, it's usually drawn as a green line, it forms the top of the cloud, right? You might be thinking, what is this cloud and what am I talking about? The Kumo or the cloud is the most important part of this system. By looking at the cloud alone, you can get an idea of what you should do or what is going to happen, right? So all these lines are drawn mainly as a help or an aid to find the parameters for the cloud. Leading span B is the other border of the cloud. It can be the lower border or it can be the upper border. We'll see it's usually drawn as a red line. So the cloud can have a green line at the top or red line at the top. And the bottom line will be always the opposite side of color. Green, if the top line is green, the bottom line is red. The top line is red, the bottom line is green. And the Kumo Cloud is bordered, as I mentioned before, by the two lines, A and B, A green and B red. A thicker cloud allows for greater price volatility. That means the cloud, whatever it indicates, as we see below, will not change much if the cloud is big. And a little further away, up or down, from the candlestick line. You see, markets are bullish when Senkou span A is above span B, and bearish when the opposite is true, obviously. And the cloud inside is green, usually. Right? You can use two other colors, but by convention, we use a green inside for a bullish cloud, and for a bearish cloud, we use the red interior for the cloud, where B is on top and A is at the bottom. B is red, A is green. And when B is on top, the interior of the cloud will be red. When A is on top, the interior of the cloud will be green. We'll see the significance of this as we go on. The positioning of the spans A and B and the shading of the cloud indicate impending changes in bullishness. A red cloud above the candlestick points towards bearish. If there is a red cloud appearing, that is red tinted cloud, you can say market is going to collapse. It's a bearishness, a premonition of a fall in market about to fall. Mind you, you can use this for market indices. You can use Ichimoku for individual stocks, futures, or any other traded instruments. A green cloud below the candlestick line indicates bullishness. And sorry, a green cloud below the candlesticks will be bullish, and a red cloud above the candlesticks will be bearish. So we say buy when the cloud is green and below the candlestick line, and we say sell when the cloud is above the candlestick line, right? And red in color. What if the candlesticks are inside the cloud, red or green, whatever it is inside the cloud? That is when we say hold. The cloud is supposed to go either up or down, but on its way, on its upward journey, as well as on its downward journey, it will go through the candlestick line. And when it is happening, that is when we say hold. So we have seen when are we going to say hold, when are we going to say buy, and when are we going to say, there you go. Cloud is below. This is the all-share index cloud up to the last trading day, that is yesterday, Friday. And you notice that the Senkou cloud with the span B, the red cloud, a red line underneath. Let me put the this line, the span B line. That's the Senkou span A line. There you go. And the inside lines, you can, either, shade it completely green, or you can use green lines inside, right, to avoid too much of a darkness on our chart. We have chosen the line, and these green lines here, Senkou A on top, Senkou B, and quite a distance between the candlestick line there and the cloud here. What does it mean? Market has to fall here for this cloud to turn it into a hole, which is very unlikely. So now it's a strong buy. The position is that of strong buy. See, when the market was here, underneath the, sorry. Somewhere here, you can see the candlesticks are here, inside the red cloud. When it's inside the red cloud itself, there the shading is red. Span B is, Senkou span B is on top. Senkou span A is at the bottom. And the cloud is red, which says sell. That's when the sell-off came. Okay. So, well, we are not trading here, but we are trading there. So the entire system, you will notice that the Chikou span is, that's Tenkan-Sen, and that's the midpoint joining line. That's the line joining the midpoints between high, the tip of the high and tip of the low. And parallel to that runs the Tenkan-Sen, right? And Chikou-Sen is lagged behind. If you see this kick up, this fall, and this kick up is shown there already, so that you get a clear vision. It's like Tenkan-Sen brought back for you to see what happened recently in the market. Okay, it's just this Tenkan-Sen pull back here gives you the Chikou-Sen. Right. Kijun-Sen here is the bottom, right, which is the support, the ultimate place to which the market could fall. That's the Kijun-Sen underneath here. Trans around there. Okay. Doesn't it say everything that we have to know about the market? Is the market, anything in the market good to buy? We'll see what in the market is the best to buy. Generally, this distance should be great. Then it's a much better buy, right? When it is very close. Here, about to overlap sort, because it's about to turn into a hole. Therefore, is further the candlesticks are from the cloud, better it is. So it's still a very superb position to buy. These candles can go up quite a bit. Let's go to an example. Here we have a stock again. Chikou-Sen, the Tenkan-Sen line, right, coming there. Span A, span B, span A, span B, green cloud, quite a distance. It's almost like the SI chart. There's quite a big distance between the two lines. The cloud is below the line of candlesticks and quite a distance away. So it's safe to buy. Now you will ask, shall I look at the PSAR? I mean, nobody can prevent you from looking at anything else. But this is called a complete overview of the market. That is why Ishimoto Sanjin was giving what is called an overview of the whole market, a view from top of the mountain, right? Here we are. Bill, the cloud here, you see the span B has crossed over and bringing about a red cloud. wherever it occurs, a red cloud, and it's almost inside the candlestick, has to be, keep a distance from the stock for a while till this red cloud turns green. Span A goes above the span B, and the cloud goes above the cloud. Okay, so whatever any other indicator means, Ishimoto says, don't buy it as yet. Okay, in fact, it says sell. Expo Lanka. Imagine this one coming and eating this. Extremely remote. It's a buy, and a buy. See? The candlestick line is above here, cloud is way below. Okay. So that's a clear buy signal on Ishimoto. Whatever any other technical or fundamental signal says, this particular Ishimoto, which gives a total overview of the market situation, says buy, and unambiguous buy signal. Right. Here we have a royal ceramic. The lines are still green. Span B is below span A, but it has just crossed. The two spans have just crossed, indicating an early signal of a sell. Okay, so if you go by Ishimoto, you might sell it. Yeah. What it is? Okay. What does the hazard? No. Yeah, this tip. Right. How to get this is wall tile. Wall tiles, Chikou span is, you see the cloud is underneath. It's a very quick, conclusion. Cloud is underneath, distanced away from the candlestick charts. Candlesticks are here. Cloud is here and is green. Span A is above span B. It's a buy signal. Though there had been some selling going on, again it was nullified by a buy. Okay, so that's very much a buy signal. On Ishimoto, without any fear, you can say the signal is buy. Lanka tiles, the same story. They are reasonably wide, below the candlestick, quite a distance away from the candlestick line, and the cloud is below the candlestick. And that's any questions you can forward, and I will answer it as I'm continuing. If you have any questions, you can forward them. Right. This is Parquet. Parquet is on Swiss Tech. Still, the span A is above the span B, but candlesticks are nudging into the line of into the cloud. The Kumo, it's inside the Kumo, though the Kumo is small. So it's a more or less between a hold and a buy. It has not crossed or inside the cloud for the simple reason the cloud is very thin here. Nevertheless, it has come inside the cloud and just escaped, but not very convincing. This is a typical hold position. If you have it, hold it. If you don't have it, don't rush into a buy. Right. Dip products is still a buy, though it has put a feeler into the cloud and come out. And part of the last candle is inside the cloud. It's a hold, and virtually, if it goes up, it can escape the cloud, and the cloud will get pushed down. So it's between a hold and a buy. Here is fabric, MGT, which is a clear distance between the candlestick line and the cloud. Span A is above span B, and strong support by the Kijun-Sen line. Kijun-Sen is giving a support line indication, and this one, the Chikou span shows extremely up. So that's a good share to be classified as buy. Textured jersey, TJ Lanka. Again, that's a strange red cloud underneath. Span B is above span A. The buying has not started. This has to cross. Though some buying has happened on the last day, there had not been a rush to buy. Though this is not inside the cloud, since this is red, I wouldn't say it for a buy, I'll call it a hold. Because this cloud is red, remember? If it's a red cloud, though there is a considerable distance between the cloud and it, it's still a cell, and Perhaps few more days of buying and say maybe an upsurge here may turn the cloud in this span A will come on top of span B, and there'll be a crossover like here. You can see here a crossover like that. Quite a big red cloud turning into quite a big bi cloud. Okay. Another hole is the grain elevator. The candlesticks are well inside the cloud, but the span A is above span B and the cloud is green. And it's below the candlesticks, but unfortunately, the candlestick line has nudged inside the cloud. So here you have to wait, and this is a good example of a hold position. If you have it, hold on. If you don't have it, don't rush to buy. Baira Farms. You see, again, the same story. Green cloud, but the selling has brought the candlestick line into the cloud. So it's a hold. That's the question. Okay, we go out of grains. Come to, Baira Farms again. Let's see. JKH. JKH is a big thinning a red cloud coming, but it's inside the candlesticks are now inside the cloud. It's a cell turning into a hold. It had been a cell all this while, but now it's coming inside the cloud. It's still the cell, but about to turn into a hole. And the cloud has to turn there, and the two spans, the red and the green, will have to cross. And the cloud has to turn green for it to become a buy again. So don't touch it till that happens. That is the advice from the Ishimoto. Commercial bank, cloud is green, but it's above, right? So because it has to go up. Cloud has to be, cloud is all right. It's green inside, span A above span B, but unfortunately, it has fallen through the Kijun-Sen line. Kijun-Sen line. Support and is underneath here. So there must be a rise above this. A surprising fall. You can call it an unfortunate happening. Green cloud is there, but share is not going. It has tried to go up, weave it, and and stopped. HNB. Cloud is again, this is the same story as commercial bank, right? I don't know whether it's the story with most of the banks. The candlesticks are below the cloud, but the cloud has turned green, but the candlestick have no life to come up. It's a surprising situation. Better to hold it, right, without rushing to buy it. Though the cloud is green, mind you, it's above. It's above the candlestick, though it has not turned red. An unfortunate happening. It has all the reason to go up about this, but it's not going up for some reason or the other. Sampath Bank. Again, the same story. Right? That's what I guessed right, that all the banks would give the same story. Candlesticks underneath, lamenting in this, though there is no reason. The span A here is above span B. Cloud is green, but the candlesticks are underneath the cloud. So can't buy. Hold is the best suggestion. NDB. That's also the same story. Candlesticks nudging underneath. Cloud green, span A above span B, but the cloud is above and green. Hold. LB Finance. Again, the cloud is green, span A above span B, but the candlesticks are inside the cloud. Hold. Valuable one. Well, it's above the cloud, but the span A is below the span B. Right? So some more buying will have to happen to call it a buy. This span A must go above this. And the cloud must turn green, but this is a red cloud. So red cloud, wherever it happens, indicates sell unless one of two things happen. Either there should be concerted buying, pulling it up, when these two lines will cross and the cloud will turn green, like somewhere here, you can see, or this must come underneath, but neither is happening, so hold, if not sell. Here is cloud has just turned red and a little above the cloud, and it's dicey. If you have it, hold it. If you don't have it, don't rush to buy. Again, hiccup. There's a red cloud above. Sell. Tokyo. Red cloud. Cell. What is this? A green cloud turning into red. Or brown and copper. Moving horizontally. The candlesticks are more or less inside the cloud. Mind you, the cloud is red here. Oh, no, still green. No, it has turned red here. Green here, but red there. Therefore, cloud is inside ACL cable. Red cloud. Turned into green is an incipient buy. A red cloud just turned green and slightly below, not very significantly, but a share that has to go up but has not gone up surprisingly. Perhaps because people didn't have Ishimoto before. Right. Cloud has just become red for LIOC. Lanka IOC, they just become red and it's above the candlestick line. So it's a sell. CIC holding. Cloud is green and the candlesticks just nudging into it. So the last candlestick is inside the cloud. So better hold. Tire. Kalni tires, it's just turned into a red cloud underneath. So it has to turn into a green cloud. If you have it, hold it. Otherwise, don't buy it here. Just buy cloud here, Alumex, but precariously placed above the green cloud. But still it's a buy, though. That's it. Now let's answer some of your questions. Some viewers want what? First slide explained again. Okay. Go to start. Yeah, these are the components of Ishimoto. The first 5, Tenkan-Sen, Kijun-Sen, Senkou span A and span B, and Chikou span are lines. Kumo is Japanese for a cloud. The most important element is this cloud. Okay. Developed for 30 years by Ichimoku Senjin, who that's his pen name, and that started. That was those were the. I mean, he has a 30 years to develop it. You might think, why the hell did it take 30 years to develop it? Those were the war years, so he had to. Perhaps he served in other duties, and so Tenkan-Sen is called the conversion line. Red line, it's a copy of the line drawn joining each of the midpoints, right? Highs and lows, and brought back 9 periods from the candlestick. You can bring it back 7 periods in Sri Lanka, 7 or thereabout, because we don't work on Saturdays and Sundays. Like in Japan, most markets are open on Saturdays. Some markets like Forex are even open on Sundays. Right. Here we have, so this, that 9 can be flexed downwards to suit Sri Lanka. If you find that it fits the charts very well, then you can by all means bring it down by 1 or 2. Kijun-Sen is the baseline, the baseline of the candlestick chart. That's a line to which it can fall, but if the market is going down, it's the line to which it can fall up, or rather rise up. Blue in color usually, and can be past say 22 periods in Sri Lanka, and though in Japan they use 26 periods because they work on Saturdays. It is calculated as highest high and lowest low divided by 2. Those points are joined together to give the Kijun-Sen line. Leading span A, which forms the first edge of the Kumo Cloud, especially when it's green, or you can use it as the baseline of the Kumo Cloud. If it's a red cloud, it's Tenkan-Sen and Kijun-Sen divided by 2. Plotted again for 22 to 26 periods. 26 in Japan, maybe 22 in Sri Lanka. Senkou span line is red in color. Highest high and lowest low. Again, as before, for 52 periods and 26 periods ahead in Sri Lanka. Sorry, it should be 44 here. Sorry, 44 periods here in Sri Lanka. Right, so the cloud, the most important element of our system is the cloud. A simple rule of the thumb is that if the cloud is above the candlestick cell, if the candlesticks are within the cloud hole, if the candlesticks are below the cloud cell, sorry, they are within the cloud hole, and if the cloud is below the candlesticks, bye. That's a golden rule to remember. Generally, when the cloud is above the candlesticks, market is falling, and there is a bearish tendency in the market, and it's good to sell. The cloud becomes red. But if it's bullish, when the candlesticks are above the cloud and the cloud is green, span A or the green line border of the cloud is above the red line border of the cloud. Cloud has two borders, a green line border and a red line border. We call green line border, we call it span A. Red line border, we call it span B. So as the cloud borders cross, the color inside the cloud also changes. When A is above B, it's green cloud. When B is above A, it's a bearish cloud and it's red in color. So if you see a red colored cloud, don't buy. If you see a green colored cloud, there's another thing to look at. Are the candlesticks above the green colored cloud? Further, it is away from the green cloud. Away means on top. Candlesticks are further up from the green colored cloud. Fearlessly buy. Likely to go up. The sentiment in the market is bullish. But if the opposite is true, cloud is red, candlesticks are below, the cloud cell, don't ask questions. Don't say the share is a good share. Good or bad, there are times they are sold. Sometimes good shares are sold, right? Because good comes from your fundamental knowledge. There's a question. Use only the cloud green or red, or whether candlesticks position with relevant to related to the cloud, okay? But not shown how Tenkan-Sen, Kijun-Sen, and Chikou-Sen. You see, Tenkan-Sen, Kijun-Sen, and the Chikou-Sen, they are used in the construction of the cloud. They are like the bricks you have made, used for making the wall. We use the wall, we don't use the bricks. Bricks are used by the construction workers. Wall is used by the user of the house. So therefore, that is not relevant to you, but just to convince you that we have not cooked up this cloud, we are showing you the lines. But of course, something like the Chikou span also is a line to say to what level, whatever happens, your stock can fall or to what level it can rise in a very bullish spree of buying. So that's all you have to know about the market to trade effective. And so you see, you don't have to, rack your brain to find, oh, I say this indicator says buy, this says sell, this says hold, which is to be taken more seriously. Take the coup more seriously. Anybody Japanese will use it. Mind you, till the Chinese rose to that position, that was the second largest economy in the world next to America. Right? Despite the fact that the Americans bombed them, they rose up and became the second largest economy in the world. So therefore, what they have used in their markets, by using them, you will never go wrong. Any other questions you have? We'll be sending you Kumo Clouds, the Ichimoku charts, which are with our other charts, whether you use them exclusively or in conjunction with other indicators. One thing we can say is that with my experience in Hong Kong, anybody, Chinese or Japanese, will use the Ishimoku to the exclusion of all other forms. And the Chinese also use the point and figure charts. And in a future program, we will tell you how to draw the very concise form of charting called the point and figure charts. Any other questions you have before we wind up?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for listening for 1.5 hours or so. And if you have any questions, you can forward it to the company and they will forward it to me. And I hope you will make a lot of money using it. So we have more charts made with Ishimoku in the future.